Hello, everybody. It's Danielle with my mind. This weekend was pretty heavy for me in a reflective, helpful way, and so I wanted to share it on my mind because I don't always share anymore. And so here we go. A year ago, yesterday, I had my pulmonary embolism, and for those of you who don't know, a pulmonary embolism is a blood clot in your lung. And a blood clot in your lung is a very scary thing, and I don't have the exact percentage, but often times it results in death. And for me, the experience of it was slightly traumatic. I'll never forget waking up in the middle of the night short of breath, and I'll get to like the fact that I did wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm going to talk about that all more like in a spiritual side in a minute. Yeah, I was short of breath and had very heavy chest pain, and I just felt like I needed to call 911 because I didn't know what was happening. Like, I wasn't normal. So with that being said, flashback a week prior to this was May 2021. Excuse me. A week before the 22nd, so whatever that was in 2021, I went to a new psychiatrist, and I hadn't seen my old psychiatrist in probably like maybe 8 months before that. I just dropped everything cold turkey kind of, and there's a lot to that, but I had been feeling for like all of 2021, all of like since 2020 to 2021, very, very low. It was very different from my OCD symptoms because I have gotten that in control. I live an exposure lifestyle now. I have the tools for when I have obsessive thoughts. I don't hang out in those realms of like must do something or this will happen as much anymore. So the feelings I had when I'm describing this year prior was like very low, and it wasn't the same. It was just like kind of like lost, and not even lost, like I just didn't care. I had no sense of self-worth. I was feeling like things weren't important. Things I used to care about, I lost interest in. I was literally going through the motions. I don't know how I was a trainer caring for other people when I literally didn't care for myself, and I was just like, whatever. If I got hit by a bus, I literally didn't care. And like, that kind of pains me to even say right now because I love life, and I want life, and I want something out of life, and I want to have feelings of success, and I want to give other people feelings of success. So, and everything I'm describing to you that happened before I had that pulmonary embolism is depression, and I didn't care about anything. Everybody has symptoms of depression in different ways. So if you have depression, it comes out in different facets, and so, like some people just want to sleep all the time. Some people get really manic and do something that they usually don't do. Oftentimes it's more of just like lack of interest in life and in things you used to love, and it's a feeling of being very low, and it's a feeling of, it's not something you can control, because for whatever reason I knew I was feeling this way daily, like when I woke up, and I would try to practice gratitude because that's a huge part of my life, is just prayer and prayer, but specific like thanking and gratitude. Specifically, sorry, I'm not speaking English right now, but specifically like prayer towards gratitude. of my health and life and and friends and family. And, I would try to give others love. I would do meditation. I would do things that just seemed fitting for the symptoms I was having, but for whatever reason, it was just, I still felt hopeless, and I still felt like my life wasn't worthy, and I didn't actively do anything about it. I would just be a hermit, and I didn't care, and I don't know, it just was really bad. So I got to a point, back to what I started, that a week prior to my pulmonary embolism, I finally sought out a new psychiatrist, and I went to her, and it forever changed my perspective on what I was dealing with. And it also changed my life, because it might be psychosomatic, but you get diagnosed with something, and you're like, okay, it's like this huge relief, and it's like this feeling of like some weight pulled off your heart and your chest, and it's like, it just feels so much better to know that like there is hope, and there's other people dealing with this, and it's a real thing. And like, just I think knowing that it's real too is like, you're not making things up, and you're not like just an unhappy person for no reason. And so after I went to her, I decided to make the choice to get back on medication, a very low dose of medication to treat my OCD and depression. And it's honestly one of the best things I ever did. And I had a huge battle with medication for over 10 years. And part of the reason is I was wrongly medicated. I was not on correct doses for my brain and my genetic makeup. So that also was a game changer. And just accepting that like I needed something besides all the other things I was doing was really hard, because I am very hard on myself when it comes to just being natural and like working through things, and I didn't want to accept it. So I did that. I'm probably gonna make a whole nother video on that, because medication is very controversial for people who are struggling, and I've had great experiences, and hence how I'm living now, and I've had pretty shitty ones, and the shitty ones make you feel like it's never gonna work, and it's never worth it, and you can do things on your own. So with that being said, I had several feelings of like, to be honest, like if I died in the middle of the night, I wouldn't care type of thing. And so a week after I felt this release of being able to heal from me being depressed, I had this situation where I woke up in the middle of the night and had a blood clot in my lung, and like I found it very spiritual, and it really helped me connect with God and with the universe and my purpose, because I was now able to realize that I'm meant to live, and I'm meant to thrive, and I'm meant to be my best version of myself. I'm meant to be my positive personality. It was divine timing, and I don't know, call me whatever crazy, but I really feel like it happened for a reason. And that is such a cliche term, but I don't know that I would have called 911 if it was the week before. I don't know. And the fact that I did, it was like the spark of my soul lit up and was like, you're meant, I feel like God was like, you're meant to be here, and you're meant to figure it out, and it's just not your time yet. So I felt this wave of emotion this weekend because this past year hasn't been the easiest, like physically. I've had a lot of health issues since then, but mentally, I've never been this strong. And I thank God for the timing of everything, because if it weren't for that timing, I don't think I would have had this self-discovery. And so I'm just very grateful, and I wanted to share that with whomever might be struggling or might feel like they're going through depression, because depression is so scary and it takes over, and it's not something where you just flip a light switch one day. I mean, I know I kind of just described mine like that, but I think it was building up into that, and there's a lot of work to be done. And just because I went and got help and started taking medicine doesn't mean the light switch just was like, all right, I'm not depressed anymore. I have days where I still feel some of those same feelings, but now that fire that lit my soul that night I lived from my pulmonary embolism keeps me going, and I just remember that, and I think that that's now a part of me, and like I stay more present. And I'm not saying I completely stay present, because I definitely have my days where I just keep thinking about the future or the past and what isn't happening, but I'm able to cope better. And so for that, I'm very grateful.